In the 12-Step Recovery Program, the 11th step seeks to deepen our relationship with God through prayer and meditation. This video focuses on a 12-step recovery group located at Mule Creek State Prison in Northern California. These men have adopted a simple form of meditation called centering prayer to assist them in implementing the 11th step.
In my knowledge of 12-step recovery and the evolution of it all, no one has ever defined a prayer and meditation practice to go along with the 11th step. And I think it's time that it be done now. But what's special about it is it excludes no one of other faiths or anyone with lack of faith. It's open to all and excludes no one.
We'll start the meeting in our usual manner with a moment of silence to do with as you please, followed by the serenity prayer.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
The 11th step is very, very important. Learn to pray and learn to meditate because it will become essential. And if you go through these 12 steps first, prayer and meditation will become effective and you'll get some major benefits from it.
This room is made up of different religions, different spiritual backgrounds, but step 11, it kind of supersedes all that. And it takes us beyond all that because it's a time of a personal intimacy with my God.
In this program here in the 12th step, it's a blessing to find that in the 11th step that you can find prayer and meditation to help you and stay balanced within your process of doing this recovery.
Prayer and meditation isn't just something I do for 20 minutes throughout in the morning or in the afternoon, but it's something that I've learned to take the principles that I've learned in prayer and meditation and go out into the day with it and keep my intention focused throughout the day, because going through the steps I've learned that I do have a choice in any given situation.
Sometimes I can get so depressed that I can feel like I'm on the bottom of the ocean looking up and there's no light. And nothing really seemed to work until I started doing my 11th step with my prayer and meditation. And I can be a real negative individual. And when I get in that mode, I can take out my aggression and my pain and my suffering that I feel on a daily basis, knowing as it stands right now, me being alive, for I'm going to die in this place unless an act of God happens and I can get out. But through prayer and meditation, I can bring some light into my life, into that little cell, and I can have some hope.
That's what the 11th step is for me. It gives me a chance to take a step back, get myself back into balance, and then continue forward without falling down.
It's like when I'm trying to get a radio station on my radio and there's a lot of static, and I can't seem to get it, but I finally tune in just right to it. That's what the meditation does for me. It helps me to tune in with God and let go of all the static that's around me, the things in this place that may be here to distract me. So it's just it's an awesome experience.
It helps me calm down and gives me like peace of mind, and at the same time it lets me know that I'm not alone.
I'm a new convert to Islam. The benefits I've had is ease, comfort, acceptance. I've felt forgiveness.
That's how I balance out my day each morning. I get up and pray and meditate so that I can go through the day without being judgmental or critical towards others.
A guy down the way from me when I was in the hole used to meditate. Sit there and for hours he would sit there and just, he looked like he was at peace. And when I used to walk by there, I used to see him and like, man, that dude's real calm, you know. And I asked him, I said, man, what does that do for you, you know? Telling me it calms me, you know. I'm at peace. I feel better with myself. And for me, myself, I couldn't even sleep at the time, let alone to meditate. So I tried, though. I tried. And when I did that, I couldn't get no results. I couldn't even sit there without 30 things going through my mind. I mean, worried about a life sentence, worried about my family, worried about everything but the victims, to be honest with you. At the time, that's the way I felt. As through my recovery, I can honestly tell you I meditate now. And that's because I've humbled myself a lot. And that's through the 12 steps. They help me.
To calm myself, to ease the racing thoughts, because that's probably the biggest hurdle that I had to overcome, is to get rid of the racing thoughts. I'm not going to get instant actions. I'm not going to get things that I want when I want it. It'll be incorporated in God's time.
To break a cycle of insanity, to know that if I continue placing myself around certain individuals, the same result is going to happen. And that's something that I can't allow. And then the victims will continue to pile up.
I came away with a feeling of serenity and peace, and even though I'm in a negative environment, I'm in prison, I can still have freedom within myself, and I feel that connection to the God of my understanding and the spiritual realities that are operating in the universe, and basically it gives me a sense of hope that things can and will get better.
I too am a lifer. I'm a double lifer. I've been diagnosed with a liver disease. And sometimes I wake up in the morning and I tell myself, you know what? I'm not going to pray. I'm not going to meditate. I'm not going to do nothing today. I just want to be left alone. But then I think to myself, you know what? I'm not going to think like that no more. As soon as my cellie goes out of the house and goes to work, I'm going to pray. And I do that. And then I go outside of my cell and I start greeting people, just like I want them to greet me. But the 11th step has helped me. It helps me every minute of the day.
I was doing my prayer and meditation every day for a while, and I stopped doing it. And I really got thrown off track. And it really affected my relationship with other people. And it made me pull away from people that really cared about me and stuff. And then when I got back on track and started doing my prayer and my meditation, it put me back on balance again.
It seems like whenever I prayed, I was never into prayer. I was always carrying the motion of prayer, and that was it. One time, I got up early in the morning, washed up, and got ready for prayer. When I'm done, when I finished prayer, I got down on my knees, and I truly felt the presence of Allah, God. I said to myself, this is the peace that I'm looking for. This is the serenity that I'd like to gain. It was like life coming back to me. It was a breath that I've never had before. It's like I just took my first breath. To me, that was the first time I truly enjoyed life, even though I was in prison. And I wake up in that cell all the time. Every time I make that prayer and I know I'm in the presence of God, man, it's the most beautiful feeling that I can get.
Every morning I start my day off with prayer, meditation, to get me on that path of peace and calmness in my life. And I'll start my day off like that. But sometimes throughout the day, I'll have encounters with somebody, like they'll bump into me and I say, excuse me, cut in front of me in the child line. And they tend to take me off that calmness and peace. I feel myself getting angry sometimes. I'll simply come home and haven't got no mail, haven't heard from my family in weeks, catch myself getting a little stressed. So when I feel that tense inside of me, that's when I take to prayer and meditation. And when I go into prayer and meditation, I'll slowly just get back on the path that I need to be on, the peace and calmness, and let go of those feelings, those emotions that I'm going through, that I can get right back to the peace and calmness in my life so I can start and finish my day out with that peace and calmness.
But some people that don't have that connection with God or your higher power, it's just a matter of time. Your heart has to be ready. No matter what we go through, no matter what it is, we always know that the 11th step, meditation and prayer and meditation, is there. That's where you can go and you can be with your God. And he'll always put his arms around you and say, you're my son, don't worry, I'll protect you. I love you.
And the prayer meditation, it helps me to find strength. It also gives me the power to love others and not to hate. It also gives me the power to be compassionate to others. It also gives me the power to look at myself, and that's something that's real hard to do for most people, including myself. And prayer and meditation, practice on a daily basis, just really enhances us spiritually and helps us to look at the similarities of one another and not the differences. It gives us the power to really carry a message that change is possible for people. And these steps just enhance my spirituality with God.
The spiritual connection I have today, it's real. It's seriously real. I pray, I meditate a minimum of 3 times a day. When I think of not praying, I think of a car without a battery. A car means nothing because it's not going to run without the battery. I don't care how big and new or beautiful my TV works. If I unplug it, it's useless. So So when I stop praying, I become useless. I've learned that. Prayer and meditation is the most powerful thing in my life today. But I'm telling you, this is not how I felt years ago. There was a time in my life, I can tell you, when I was on death row, I didn't care. I wanted to die because I said, if there is a God, for all the pain that I felt, I want to die so I can come find you and go after you. Death penalty did not scare me. Today, it means everything in the world to me to live. And so this 11th step is very, very critical. And with that, thank you all for sharing and participating in the meeting, and have a good night. Thank you.
There are people in 12-step recovery groups all around the country participating in weekly 11th step meetings to assist in their recovery. The meeting typically includes a period of time set aside for silent meditation, preceded or followed by a discussion on the role that the 11th step plays in recovery.